Every year, over 10 million people around the world die from cancer. On average, every 3 seconds, one person passes away due to this disease. But what many don't know is that the cancer process often begins silently, 10 to 30 years before any clear symptoms appear. And even more concerning, it can start right inside the healthy cells of your body today. It sounds frightening, but here's the most important part for you to remember. Your body is already programmed to protect itself from cancer, if you eat and nourish it the right way. In today's video, Longevity Tips will help you explore 5 common, easy-to-find foods at an incredibly reasonable price that have the power to lock in the signals that trigger cancer at the root, slow down the development of abnormal cells, and naturally boost your immune system. If you truly care about your longevity and quality of life after 60, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because the small tips today could save your health in the next 10 years. We often think of cancer as something grand, but according to many modern medical studies, the cancer process often begins at an incredibly small level, referred to as microcancer. Every day, our body produces millions of new cells, and among them, there may be a few that undergo genetic mutations. But if the immune system is healthy, natural killer cells, NK cells or T cells, will quickly identify and destroy them before they can develop into a tumor. However, modern living conditions, from processed food, air pollution, and chronic stress, are turning chronic inflammation into a silent trigger. In this environment, mutated cells may escape the sight of the immune system, proliferate, and begin forming their own blood vessels, a process called angiogenesis, or self-building a source of nutrition for the tumor to grow. According to an analysis published in the Journal of Cancer Prevention, a diet rich in natural plant-based foods, antioxidants, and polyphenols can reduce chronic inflammation, inhibit angiogenesis, and enhance immunity. From a personal perspective, I believe nutrition cannot completely replace medical treatment, but it is the first and long-lasting armor that protects the body from cancer from the inside. In the next part, I will introduce the foods that can help achieve this. The first, and one of the most powerful, microcancer warriors is green tea. Not only a long-standing cultural habit in Asia, but green tea today has also been recognized by Western science as a beverage containing extremely powerful bioactive compounds in cancer prevention, especially for digestive tract, prostate, and breast cancer. The most prominent component in green tea is EGCG, epigallocatechin 3-gallate, a polyphenol catechin with the ability to neutralize free radicals, reduce cell inflammation, and block many steps in the cancer progression process. Biologically, EGCG strongly influences 3 key mechanisms discussed earlier. 1. It can reduce chronic inflammation by inhibiting inflammatory factors such as COX-2 and NF-κB. These 2 molecules are the guides for the cytokine process, substances that cause inflammation and stimulate the proliferation of mutated cells. When EGCG reduces their activity, the intracellular environment becomes cooler, meaning less favorable for cancer cells to proliferate. 2-EGCG enhances natural immune function. Research at the Institute for Cancer Immunology shows that when exposed to EGCG, NK cells, natural killer cells, biological assassins, specializing in killing abnormal cells, are activated more strongly, helping to detect and eliminate abnormal cells before they have a chance to multiply. This is an important layer of defense that older individuals need to maintain, especially as immune function declines with age. 3. EGCG inhibits angiogenesis, the process of new blood vessel formation. In cancer, angiogenesis is how tumors persuade the body to create a blood supply to nourish them. But green tea, with its anti-angiogenesis activity, cuts off this blood supply, preventing tumors from growing rapidly or metastasizing. Not just in theory, clinical evidence is very convincing. A study published in Cancer Research in 2019 showed that drinking 2-3 cups of green tea daily reduces the risk of digestive tract cancers by 20 to 30%, especially in those with a high-fat diet or a history of gastric ulcers. In this study, the group that regularly consumed green tea also showed lower levels of chronic inflammation in their blood, with a stronger immune response compared to the control group. However, Not all ways of drinking tea fully unleash the potential of EGCG. Most industrial tea bags in supermarkets have been processed through heat or oxidation multiple times, significantly reducing the catechin content. For optimal effect, you should choose loose-leaf green tea. Brew it with water at about 80 degrees Celsius, not boiling, and steep for 3 to 5 minutes. Too high a temperature can destroy the EGCG structure, while steeping too long can make the tea bitter and hard to drink, which is crucial for older individuals with sensitive palates. The timing of drinking tea also affects its effectiveness. Drinking 2 to 3 cups per day, ideally in the morning or 30 minutes after a meal, is ideal. Avoid drinking tea on an empty stomach, as catechins can irritate the stomach lining, especially for those with a history of stomach issues. And never drink tea that's too hot, as temperatures above 65 degrees Celsius are associated with a risk of esophageal irritation, as warned by the WHO. From personal experience, I've tried many methods of drinking tea over the past 10 years, and the method that works best for my busy lifestyle is steeping loose-leaf tea the night before in a glass bottle, allowing it to cool gradually in the room. The next morning, I simply reheat it with warm water or add a little hot water, and I have a cup of abundant EGCG tea without wasting time boiling and straining tea multiple times. This method is particularly suitable for older individuals as it's convenient and helps maintain the daily habit without causing pressure. Some people are concerned about the caffeine in green tea, but you need to know that the caffeine content in 1 cup of green tea, about 20 to 30 milligrams, is very low compared to coffee, over 90 milligrams. In fact, the polyphenols in green tea help slow the absorption of caffeine, providing a gentle boost of alertness without causing jitteriness or insomnia if consumed in the morning. To summarize, green tea is not a miracle cure for cancer, but it is one of the simple, affordable, easy-to-maintain daily choices that helps your body reduce inflammation, boost immunity, and prevent mutated cells from developing into real cancer. And with just a few cups a day, you are giving yourself a silent, yet extremely effective shield of protection from the inside. If green tea is the soft shield that protects the body from within by reducing inflammation and activating immunity, then cruciferous vegetables are the powerful biological filters that help the body detoxify, cut off the tumor's nutrient supply, and curb cell mutations. Among the plant groups that Western science has seriously focused on in cancer prevention, brassica vegetables, the cruciferous vegetable family, always tops the list. Familiar representatives in this group include broccoli, cauliflower, and bok choy, vegetables popular in both Asian and Western cuisines, rich in fiber, vitamin C, and especially high-activity plant compounds such as sulforaphane and isothiocyanates. Sulforaphane is a sulfur compound released when you chop or chew cruciferous vegetables. It is considered a good shock for cells, helping the body activate its genetic defense system against cancer. Specifically, sulforaphane stimulates phase 2 detoxifying enzymes, a group of enzymes that help neutralize potential carcinogens from fried foods, environmental pollution, tobacco, or alcohol. These enzymes act like biological vacuums, sweeping away free radicals before they can damage DNA. Not stopping there, sulforaphane also inhibits the activity of COX-2, an enzyme that plays a key role in creating inflammatory mediators. Similar to EGCG in green tea, this mechanism reduces chronic inflammation and prevents ideal conditions for cancer cells to grow. And most notably, sulforaphane inhibits angiogenesis, the process that prevents tumors from creating their own nourishing blood vessels. According to a study published in Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry in 2020, sulforaphane inhibits up to 80% of blood vessel development around tumors in vitro experiments. While this is not yet clinical evidence in humans, it reinforces the belief that regularly including cruciferous vegetables in the diet can be a proactive, simple, and cost-effective preventive measure. But like all foods rich in bioactive compounds, the way you prepare them will determine their effectiveness. Sulforaphane is produced from a precursor called glucoraphanin, but the enzyme that activates sulforaphane, myrosinase, is highly sensitive to heat. Therefore, if you overcook the vegetables, especially boiling them for a long time or stewing them for too long, most of this activity will be lost. The best way to retain sulforaphane and isothiocyanates is 1. Cut both the stems and florets, because the stem, especially from broccoli, contains more compounds than you might think. Don't discard the stems. Instead, slice them diagonally, thinly, to ensure they cook quickly while retaining their crunchiness. Number 2. Lightly boil or blanch the vegetables in boiling water for 2 to 3 minutes. Then quickly sauté with olive oil and garlic to enhance flavor, while also adding fats that help absorb the antioxidants better. 3. For those who enjoy raw food, you can blend raw broccoli into a smoothie, combining it with green apples and lemons to create a detox juice with a mild taste and easier to drink than you think. From personal experience, I usually keep the broccoli stems, cut them diagonally, and pan-sear them with mushrooms and shallots. When the mushrooms release their sweetness and the broccoli begins to crisp on the edges, the flavor blends between the crunchiness of the vegetable and the aroma of garlic and mushrooms. It's truly irresistible. It's not just a dish, but a way to naturally, deliciously, and easily introduce plant medicine into your body every week. One important thing to remember, don't just eat one type of cruciferous vegetable. Rotating between broccoli, cauliflower, and bok choy will help you get a variety of plant nutrients, while also preventing an excess of oxalates, which can interfere with calcium absorption if one type is consumed too much for a prolonged period. For those over 60 in the US, where processed foods, red meat, and grilled dishes still dominate many people's diets, adding 1 to 2 servings of cruciferous vegetables daily is a practical step to balance the body's internal environment. It not only supports cancer prevention, but also helps reduce cholesterol, enhance liver function, improve digestion, and assist in blood sugar control. A serving of lightly sautéed broccoli at lunch, or a bowl of bok choy soup cooked with tofu and ginger at dinner, is not just a meal, but a nutritional therapy that helps your body self-defense intelligently every day. If cruciferous vegetables are the silent engineers, helping the body detoxify and cut off the life source of cancer cells, then papaya is like a natural, colorful vitamin shot, acting simultaneously on the immune system, the inflammation process, and endogenous antioxidant capabilities. Not only is papaya a sweet tropical fruit, but it is truly an anti-inflammatory superfood, something that modern medicine increasingly recognizes. The special compound in papaya is beta-cryptoxanthin, a natural carotenoid from the vitamin A family, notable for its bright orange-yellow color. What makes beta-cryptoxanthin unique is its powerful anti-inflammatory ability at the cellular level, particularly by reducing pro-inflammatory substances such as IL-6 and TNF-alpha, 2 cytokines that have been shown to be directly involved in chronic inflammation and cancer cell proliferation. When IL-6 levels in the blood are high, it not only stimulates abnormal cell growth, but also causes the immune system to become confused, failing to recognize what is dangerous and attack it. Papaya, with the anti-inflammatory activity of beta-cryptoxanthin, helps the immune system clean up the battlefield, thus returning to its role of surveillance and eliminating the correct targets. Not only does it stop at anti-inflammatory action, but beta-cryptoxanthin in papaya also inhibits angiogenesis, similar to sulforaphane in cruciferous vegetables. It helps sever the supply line nourishing mutated cells, thus slowing down the growth rate of tumors at the microphase. Another major benefit is that papaya supports detoxification at the cellular level by increasing glutathione, one of the most powerful antioxidants the body produces. Glutathione protects DNA, stabilizes cell membranes, and promotes the removal of heavy metals and fat-soluble toxins. As the body ages, the natural production of glutathione decreases, and adding papaya to your diet is a great way to stimulate the production of natural glutathione without the need for supplements. Epidemiological evidence is also worth noting. A large-scale study conducted in Japan, published in the International Journal of Cancer in 2018, tracked over 60,000 people for 10 years. The results showed that people who ate papaya at least 3 times a week had a 25% lower risk of lung cancer compared to those who did not consume it regularly, even after adjusting for smoking factors. This shows that the active compounds in papaya have a positive effect beyond just smoking index and actually impact the inflammation process and cellular transformation. In terms of usage, papaya doesn't require much preparation, but there are a few small tips to retain its biological benefits. 1. Eat it directly in wedges or chunks, because when juicing, most of the fiber and some carotenoid activity are lost due to oxidation. 2. To enhance beta-cryptoxanthin absorption, which is fat-soluble, you can eat papaya with a small amount of healthy fat, such as mixing it with low-sugar Greek yogurt or in a fruit salad drizzled with olive oil and lemon juice. 3. From personal experience, I usually cut papaya into cubes, add it to cold oatmeal or yogurt in the morning. The digestion feels light without the bloating that comes from eating high-sugar fruits, and especially, I feel more alert and energized, especially on days when my body is tired or sleep-deprived. That's a sign that the anti-inflammatory and detoxification processes are happening naturally, gently, but effectively. One thing to note, ripe papaya should be stored correctly. If you buy it in large quantities, let it ripen naturally at room temperature, then cut into pieces and refrigerate in an airtight container for up to 2-3 days. Do not store peeled papaya in the fridge for too long, as carotenoids will degrade over time, losing color and reducing their biological effectiveness. Additionally, for people with a tendency to get diarrhea or weak digestion, start with a small amount, around 100 to 150 grams per time, eating 30 minutes after a main meal to support digestion without irritating the intestines. Papaya is not just a refreshing fruit or dessert. For the adult body, especially after the age of 60, it is a food medicine that helps reduce inflammation, protect cells, and strengthen the natural defense system. And with its sweet, refreshing taste, easy to eat, and simple to prepare, there's no reason why you shouldn't add papaya to your diet at least 2 to 3 times a week. Next, purple yam is a tuber with a mystical color, containing a rare plant compound called anthocyanin, which not only gives it a beautiful hue, but also provides mechanisms to protect DNA and naturally destroy cancer stem cells. Anthocyanin is a pigment from the flavonoid group, a class of bioactive compounds with very strong antioxidant effects, also found in berries, purple corn, but especially abundant in purple yam, particularly when you eat the skin and prepare it properly. One of the prominent mechanisms of anthocyanins is its ability to inhibit the NF-κB signaling pathway, a key factor in chronic inflammation at the cellular level. When NF-κB is excessively activated, it leads to the production of a series of inflammatory cytokines, which in turn causes uncontrolled cell growth and pave the way for cancer cell development. Purple yam, due to anthocyanin, helps lock the NF-κB pathway, blocking the chain reaction that causes chronic inflammation and oxidation. In addition to reducing inflammation and providing antioxidant effects, anthocyanin in purple yam also has the ability to inhibit angiogenesis, the process of creating new blood vessels to nourish cancer cells. And what's particularly noteworthy and has attracted the attention of many scientists is that purple yam can impact cancer stem cells, a type of cell that is extremely hard to destroy and is often the cause of recurrence after treatment. A study published in 2021 in Food Chemistry showed that purple yam extract can inhibit up to 70% of the growth of colon cancer stem cells in vitro experiments. This opens a new approach. Instead of just targeting mature cancer cells, purple yam can also disrupt the life cycle of cancer stem cells, thus preventing the possibility of relapse after treatment. This is particularly important for those with a family history of colorectal cancer or those recovering from chemotherapy and radiation therapy. However, to preserve the biological efficacy of anthocyanins, the method of preparing purple yam is crucial. Anthocyanin is easily degraded when exposed to high heat and oxidation. So, 1. Steaming or baking the yam with the skin on is the best way to retain fiber, purple pigment, and anti-inflammatory activity. When you peel or deep fry it, most of the nutrients are lost or altered. 2. A useful tip is, after steaming, let the yam cool and store it in the refrigerator for at least 8 to 12 hours. Then reheat it lightly with steam or in the microwave. This will help the yam form resistant starch. a substance that is not digested in the small intestine, but goes directly to the large intestine, feeding beneficial bacteria while reducing the post-meal blood sugar response. For older adults, this is a great way to both support digestion and stabilize blood sugar levels. One dish I personally recommend is mashed purple yam soup with chicken broth, seasoned with ginger, white pepper, and extra virgin olive oil. When cooled and reheated a second time, the soup becomes creamy, fragrant, and contains more resistant starch, helping the digestive system function more effectively and providing a lasting sense of fullness without spiking blood sugar like regular starchy foods. Alternatively, you can simply steam the purple yam with the skin on, slice it thinly, and serve it with green salad and avocado, topped with some roasted pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds, both delicious and rich in anti-inflammatory compounds. From personal experience, I often steam the purple yam in the evening, let it cool, and place it in the refrigerator overnight. The next day, I simply reheat it. Not only does this increase the amount of resistant starch, which is great for the gut and immune system, but it also helps stabilize the anthocyanin content in the yam, preventing it from breaking down after cooking. Interestingly, purple yam does not spike blood sugar as much as sweet potatoes or white potatoes, thanks to its lower glycemic index, GI, and superior antioxidant content. This is particularly important for older adults managing diabetes or prediabetes, as they can eat yam without worrying about blood sugar fluctuations. In terms of flavor, purple yam has a light, sweet, chewy, and naturally fragrant taste, very suitable for the palate of Vietnamese people living in the US, who tend to prefer soft, easily digestible foods. And compared to other neutral-colored tubers, its vibrant purple color adds liveliness and visual appeal to daily meals, improving mood, something that should not be underestimated in the elderly. In conclusion, purple yam is not just a pretty colored tuber, but a superfood containing anthocyanin, a biological agent capable of reducing inflammation, preventing blood vessel formation for tumors, and eliminating cancer stem cells. With simple preparation methods, easy-to-find ingredients, and high applicability in all meals, purple yam deserves to be an essential part of your natural cancer prevention diet. The last food in today's video that I'm about to share is probably very familiar to you. It often appears in desserts, salads, or juices. But what may surprise you is that pomegranate is not just a delicious, juicy fruit, but also one of the most powerful biological weapons that help the body prevent and control cancer from within. The key component in pomegranate is ellagitannins, with punicalagin being the most prominent bioactive compound. This is a polyphenol with very high biological activity, helping the body fight inflammation, prevent the formation of blood vessels feeding tumors, and particularly activate beneficial gut bacteria, a key factor for a healthy immune system. First, let's talk about its anti-inflammatory ability, the foundational mechanism in cancer prevention. Punicalagin has the ability to reduce levels of CRP, C-reactive protein, and IL-6, two early warning substances of chronic inflammation. When CRP and IL-6 levels remain high for extended periods, the immune system becomes exhausted, and this allows mutated cells to escape control. The ellagitannins in pomegranate act as gatekeepers, reducing inflammation signals, thus preventing cancer from forming at the microstage. Second, punicalagin also inhibits angiogenesis, the nutrition supply route for the growth and metastasis of cancer cells. By preventing mutated cells from calling for new blood vessels, pomegranate helps slow down the growth and spread of tumors. What's especially interesting and less known is that ellagitannins in pomegranate do not only work locally, but can also be metabolized into urolithins in the colon, under the action of a special beneficial bacterium called Akkermansia mucinifila. This beneficial bacterium plays a key role in strengthening the intestinal mucosal barrier, controlling endothelial inflammation, and boosting the overall immune system. A diet rich in pomegranate can stimulate the growth of Akkermansia, thus strengthening the body's natural defense against the silent attack of cancer cells. A study published in Clinical Cancer Research in 2017 tested early-stage prostate cancer patients. Those who drank 240 milliliters of pure pomegranate juice daily showed a significantly slower rate of PSA, prostate cancer biomarker increase compared to those who did not drink it, showing significant effectiveness in controlling disease progression. Importantly, no side effects were recorded, making pomegranate a safe, easy-to-implement choice in the daily diet. Regarding usage, you can 1. Eat fresh pomegranate seeds directly. Chew the small seeds inside to increase fiber and digestive benefits. 2. Make juice, but remember to choose a sugar-free, undiluted version to maintain the highest bioactive content. Or, as I often do, mix pomegranate seeds into quinoa salad or sprinkle them on Greek yogurt. The sensation of the seeds lightly bursting in your mouth, releasing a sweet tart flavor, alternating with a crispy texture. Not only is it delicious, but also stimulates digestion and supports gut microbiota. A small tip: you can store pomegranate seeds in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days and sprinkle them on your food whenever needed. The flavor remains fresh, and you'll find that every meal becomes a nurturing therapy for your cells. Compared to expensive berries or complex supplements, pomegranate is a simple, familiar choice, yet rich in biological value. It works as an anti-inflammatory shield, a supply cutoff tool for mutated cells, and most importantly, nourishes the immune system from its source in the gut. For older adults, especially after 60, when natural absorption and anti-inflammatory capabilities decrease, including pomegranate in the diet 2 to 3 times a week could be a long-term strategy, both tasty and healthy, and easy to maintain. This is the spirit of eating to protect cells that Longevity Tips always wants to share with you. The story below will give you a realistic perspective on the effects of the 5 foods mentioned earlier. Mrs. Susan, 67, lives in Tampa, Florida, a sunny, windy place where she has spent nearly her whole life with her children and grandchildren. But there's one thing that has always silently worried her for many years: her family history of lung cancer. Her father passed away at 71 from this disease, and her brother is currently undergoing chemotherapy for stage 2 cancer. Although she doesn't smoke, every time she goes for a routine health check, she carries the anxious thought, "Is it my turn yet?" At the end of last year, after a blood test showed that her CRP, C-reactive protein, level, an indicator of chronic inflammation, was unusually high, her doctor suggested that she review her diet. "This could be an early warning from your body before things get too late," he said. And that was when Mrs. Susan decided to make a change. She started a 6-month program, not with medicine or expensive therapies, but with real food, simple, easy to find, and suitable for the tastes of older Americans like her. Every day she drank 2 cups of loose-leaf, caffeine-free green tea, steeped at 80 degrees Celsius for 3 minutes and allowed to cool before drinking. "The tea helps me stay alert without the jitters of coffee. And the best part is, I feel like my breathing in the morning is easier, as if my lungs are cleaner," she shared. 3 times a week, she added cruciferous vegetables to her dinner, sometimes stir-fried broccoli with olive oil, sometimes blanched bok choy served with steamed fish. She also learned to slice the stems of broccoli on a diagonal and stir-fry them with mushrooms, not wasting any part because the stems contain the best bioactive compounds. Every morning, she ate half a ripe papaya, cut into cubes, and sprinkled with a few chia seeds and a small spoonful of Greek yogurt. This light meal helped her not feel too full, but provided enough energy to start the day. Throughout the week, she supplemented with purple sweet potatoes, steamed or baked with the skin, allowed to cool overnight, then reheated as part of her lunch. She said the mashed purple sweet potato soup with white pepper and olive oil was a relaxing therapy for the stomach. And of course, pomegranate was essential. Mrs. Susan didn't like juice, but she loved mixing fresh pomegranate seeds into quinoa salad, a dish she learned from her daughter in California. The sweet, slightly tart taste made the meal fresher. And more importantly, she knew that each spoonful of pomegranate she ate was nourishing her gut bacteria, the core of a healthy immune system. After 6 months of following this diet, the results surprised both her doctor and herself. Her CRP level dropped by 40%, indicating that her systemic inflammation was effectively controlled. Her respiratory function, especially lung capacity, showed significant improvement, as measured by a respiratory test at the clinic. But it wasn't just the numbers. She felt lighter, less tired, and could climb the stairs without stopping in the middle. The afternoon sluggishness, a common issue for those over 60, gradually disappeared. Instead, she had enough energy to play with her grandchildren, tend to her small garden, and even walk regularly every morning without feeling exhausted. When I started, I didn't expect a miracle. I just wanted my body to know that I was paying attention. But then, the results came so naturally. Each meal was a step toward recovery, she said, her eyes shining with undeniable joy. Mrs. Susan's experience is a gentle yet profound reminder. Change doesn't have to be grand, it just requires perseverance. And your body, no matter the age, always listens and responds. To optimize the effectiveness of the foods mentioned, such as green tea, cruciferous vegetables, papaya, purple sweet potatoes, and pomegranate, the key is not just about what to eat, but also about how the body absorbs them. And that's why combining nutrients intelligently and avoiding certain hindrances will be the key to making the biological compounds truly work in their roles of anti-inflammation, detoxification, and inhibiting cancer cells. First, let's talk about the group of nutrients that support absorption, which, if lacking, can result in poor absorption even if you eat a lot of healthy foods. Vitamin D is an essential factor that enhances the absorption of polyphenols, combats inflammation, and supports T-cell immunity. You can supplement vitamin D by exposing yourself to the morning sun for 15 to 20 minutes, or by consuming foods such as salmon, mackerel, whole egg yolks, or D3 fortified plant-based milk. Magnesium G helps stabilize cell membranes, reduce oxidative stress, and support enzymes that metabolize anti-cancer compounds like sulforaphane or anthocyanin. Good sources of magnesium include almonds, pumpkin seeds, whole grains, and dark leafy greens such as kale. Vitamin K2, especially in natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish, hard cheeses like Gouda or aged cheddar, plays a role in coordinating calcium into the bones and preventing it from depositing in blood vessels, while also having anti-inflammatory properties in microvascular veins, a factor being researched for blocking the blood vessels feeding tumors. In contrast, there are things to avoid or limit to prevent hindering the natural anti-cancer process. Excess salt, excess sodium, which can increase inflammation in vascular endothelium, retain water, and cause metabolic imbalance, thereby reducing the effectiveness of plant compounds. Excess caffeine, especially from strong coffee, soda, or bottled tea, can stimulate the stress axis, HPA axis, weaken the immune system, and create an acidic environment, increasing the risk of metabolic disorders in cells. Foods rich in oxalates, such as raw spinach and beetroot, if eaten too frequently, can hinder the absorption of magnesium, calcium, and zinc, important factors in cancer prevention. To make it easier for you to apply right away, here is a sample daily schedule, both practical and digestive friendly, while providing the necessary nutrients to support antioxidant defenses. Morning. Drink 1 cup of warm green tea right after waking up, not too hot. Then eat half a ripe papaya with chia seeds and a small spoonful of unsweetened yogurt. Lunch. A plate of cruciferous vegetables, broccoli bok choy, stir-fried in olive oil, served with grilled salmon or mackerel, and a few slices of steamed purple sweet potatoes to increase anthocyanins. Afternoon snack. A small handful of unsalted dry roasted almonds with a cup of warm water or caffeine-free chamomile tea. Dinner. Purple sweet potato soup made with chicken bone broth or quinoa salad with pomegranate seeds, avocado, and greens. Add a slice of aged cheese, Gouda or Parmesan if you need to supplement vitamin K2 naturally. With this arrangement, you have covered the 5 important anti-cancer food groups, while ensuring adequate nutrients to support absorption without overloading blood sugar or digestion, which is extremely important for people over 60. In today's video, we've explored 5 notable food groups that have natural anti-cancer capabilities: green tea, EGCG, cruciferous vegetables, sulforaphane, papaya, beta-cryptoxanthin, purple sweet potatoes, anthocyanin, and pomegranate, ellagitannins. Each type has its own mechanism, from reducing inflammation, inhibiting blood vessels that nourish tumors, to enhancing gut immunity. The important message I want to convey is, prevention from the root through long-term nutrition is worth many times more than quick treatments with chemotherapy or medications. You don't need a complicated diet, nor do you need to buy expensive superfoods. Just be consistent, understand the essence, and make daily lifestyle adjustments. If you've tried any of these methods, please comment 1 below. If you still have any concerns, comment 0, and I will return to answer all of them. And if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share the Longevity Tips channel to spread the values of living healthily, living long, and living fully every day. Caring for each cell is the most profound way of loving yourself.